Hi Aries, and welcome to your horoscope for May 2025. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and please watch them in this order: for your rising sign or your ascendant first, then for your sun sign, and finally for your moon sign. So what I'm going to do in this horoscope is I'm going to break May down into 4 weeks, and I'm going to pay particular attention to what the moon is doing and how it moves through your chart, so that you know what areas of life you're supported in and when. So week 1, which is a very short week, Thursday the 1st until Sunday the 4th of May. On the 1st of May, we have the moon in Gemini, and the moon is in Gemini, the sign of the communicator. It's ruled by Mercury, the communication planet. It's in your third house of communication, and it sits next to Jupiter, the lucky planet of prosperity and abundance and growth and good fortune. So anything that requires you to communicate, use the first to do it. If it's public speaking or a job interview, or you want to give a toast at the wedding, or you want to make some sort of big decision in your life, the 1st of the month is the best time for you to do that. Also on the 1st of May, we have Beltane, which is a Celtic festival, and it means that we're halfway from the spring equinox to the summer solstice. And back in the day, this used to be when they used to let the cattle back out onto the fields, and people were aware that the world was warming up and that summer was on its way. Now, what that reminded me of was, and you being a fire sign as well, Aries, I think you'll find this interesting. There's something called, and excuse me, I have no Farsi whatsoever. There's something called Chahashanbe Suri. It's a fire festival, and this year it took place on the 18th of March, and it's the day before Nowruz, which is the Persian New Year. And what happens during this fire festival is either a small fire or a big fire is created, and the person or the people involved, they need to jump over this fire. So there's courage and confidence involved. I need to be brave enough to jump over this fire. But the amazing thing about it is that you're jumping into an unknown future. You're jumping into a new year that's full of wonder, and that could be anything. It could be full of treasures and amazing experiences that you've never had. And also, and as a dual kind of effect, while you're jumping over the fire, the past is burned away from you, and anything that is unhealed is detoxed and it's left in the past, so that you get a completely new beginning. And you, Aries, you guys are the first sign of the zodiac. So treat May as the first month of this year. Treat it as the beginning of something completely new, where you're able to build and to create your hopes and dreams and to manifest them in earnest. On the 2nd and 3rd, the moon moves on. It goes into Cancer, and it goes into your 4th house of family and your 4th house of your roots and anything that makes you feel like you're at home and you belong. So those 2 days are good to spend with family members, to go home, to recharge, to kind of be around things that give you a sense of belonging, comfort, ease, all of those kind of things. Then on the 4th of May, we have the moon going into Leo, and it joins Mars in Leo and also the transiting ascendant in Leo. Now, Mars is your ruler, and Mars obviously rules your sign of Aries, a fire sign. But here in Leo, it's in another fire sign, and it's very happy being in another fire sign, because Leo isn't about overcoming obstacles and making a fresh start. Leo is about being in the spotlight and being a leader and being loud and saying, pay attention to me. I know the way. I'm going to influence you. Follow me. I'm going to lead you to the promised land. So with Mars in Leo, that is going to want you to have some sort of passionate, wild, life-affirming experience. And the fifth house is what you love to do in terms of your work, but it's also who you love. So with the moon going in there and the transiting rising sign, the rising sign is really your default setting. It's what you naturally embody, and that's at 22 degrees in Leo. So the 4th of May is significant, and it also extends into week 2, into the 5th of May. This is a 2-day period where you will want to have some sort of experience that makes you feel like life is full of exciting, miraculous, wondrous things that make you feel alive, and more importantly, lucky to be alive, so that you get to experience all of these great things and that you happen to be present for them. On the 4th of May, and across the chart, we have Pluto, the planet of life and death, transformation and change, the phoenix rising from the ashes. That goes retrograde until the 13th of October. So with the outer planets, Pluto being one of them, when they are retrograde, the energy is expressed inwardly rather than outwardly. So it's interesting because we have this whole new beginning, and we have a prompt for you to build your hopes and dreams now in earnest in the physical world, in the real world. But what happens slyly back in the background here is Pluto is going to give you your hopes and dreams for the future, and is going to present them to you inwardly via your dreams, via your instincts, via your intuition, your feeling. So from now on, the 4th of May onwards, listen to what you think has value, listen to what is important, and listen to what your imagination and your creativity comes up with. Because if you can imagine it, if you can think it, you can manifest it, you can make it a real thing. The other thing that I want to encourage you about is that all of the personal planets, Mercury, Mars, and Venus, they are direct all month. So with Mercury being direct, expect 0 issues when it comes to communication and transportation. So it's safe to get your point across. It's safe to travel. Expect very few delays. Venus is love and starting businesses and its wealth and its prosperity. With this being direct, it's time for you to give life to your hopes and dreams, and to say, I want to build the giant corporation that's going to create generational wealth. Or I want to produce the artwork that is going to be there and hang on the wall for the next 20 years. I want to create, I want to give life. And then your ruler Mars, that being direct, you're not going to be short of energy. You're not going to be scattered without a sense of focus or ambition. You will be driven to get certain things done, to acquire things, to make life more abundant than it is already, and to take all of your energy and to use it in order to create real treasures in your own life. So in this first week, the moon starts in your 3rd house of communication, and it ends up in your 5th house of what you love. And that's the very base of your chart, with the IC in the middle. The IC is your roots. It's what makes you feel like you belong. So you're able to communicate your truth. You're also able to discover what you really value and what you care about and what you think is worth talking about. You get to embrace your loved ones and enjoy the support and the warmth of people who care about you. And you have the confidence and the enthusiasm and the desire to go on new adventures and to see sparks fly and to have these great experiences. So it's a great start to May for you, Aries. Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 5th to the 11th of May. On the 5th, we still have the moon in Leo, so that continues. Then on the 6th, 7th, and 8th, we've got the moon going into Virgo, and that goes into your 6th house of daily routine, your physical health, and the structures of your life. And Virgo is a sign that's ruled by Mercury, the communication planet, and Mercury has two settings. It has Gemini, which is setting 1. That's when the switch is on the outward position, and it's I communicate, I problem solve, I talk, I express myself. But setting 2, Virgo, the switch is on the inward position, and it's I listen, I learn, I make sense of things, and I create meaning in my own special way. And it's an earth sign. So with the moon being in Virgo during this 3-day period in your 6th house, it's a time for you to get your house in order. So if you want to tidy up your house, your flat, if you want to get your affairs in order in a more metaphysical way or metaphorical way, it's also a good time to do that. So I want to get organized. I want to get all my paperwork done. The 6th house is also your body. It's your appearance. It's your diet. It's the way you exercise. If you want to change the way you look, if you want to start a new exercise regimen, if you want to make changes to your physical appearance and body, these 3 days are days to decide to make that happen and then to actually go for it. So, at some point, Arnold Schwarzenegger must have said, I want to be a bodybuilder. And then he actually went out and did that. So if you want to make changes to the way your physical body appears, these are the 3 days to do it. And I've been thinking about that a lot, because I recently met someone who was in great shape and who went to the gym, or who goes to the gym 6 days a week. 6 days a week. And I was just thinking, this person being in such good physical shape, by doing that, they have solved a lot of problems in their own life. They're going to be very attractive to other people on a physical level. They will have a lot of physical strength and stamina, so they'll be able to scale great heights and accomplish things and not run out of steam. And also, it's likely that they have great mental discipline and strength, which again in life is going to serve you and support you. If I can commit to something and then actually do it, and I don't feel helpless, I feel like I'm in charge, I think that's a great asset to have. Now on the 6th and 7th of May, we have the Eta Aquarids meteor shower, which is best viewed in the southern hemisphere. By the way, astrology is based on the northern hemisphere, but whether you're watching this in the southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere doesn't matter. The same energy applies. And this meteor shower stems from the constellation of Aquarius. So it's an opportunity for you to see beyond the detail of your life and to discover something that would be for the greatest good for all of humanity. And it's about healing and learning. And what I thought when I first read this is make a wish for someone in your life. So rather than just making a wish for yourself, oh, I want to be in love in future, I want to travel to this magical place and have that experience, wish something positive for someone in your life and say, I hope David falls madly in love and gets married and has 5 children. Do that for someone else and see what happens as a result for you. Because remember, what we put out, we get back. Then the moon moves on the 9th and 10th. It goes into Libra, and it goes into your 7th house of relationships. And Libra is the sign that traditionally rules the 7th house. It's a bridge with a bump in it, and it's about community. It's about community. Did I say that twice? It's about communication. It's about community. It's about bringing people together. It's ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity. And it means that on these 2 days, expect very few issues when it comes to working with others or connecting with friends or spending time with family members. These 2 days are great to be around others and to whether you let yourself be inspired by them or you just share a meal together, it doesn't matter. It's unlikely that there's going to be a ton of drama involved. On the 10th of May, we have Mercury, the communication planet, that ingresses into Taurus. So it's been in Aries in your first house of self, and now it moves out of your first house and into your second house, and it joins your transiting midheaven, which is work, the sun, which is also in Taurus, and the sun is what you're aspiring to be on a conscious level, and Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and the chaotic and the miraculous seeming, and things that appear to be impossible but then actually aren't. So from the 10th of May onwards, it's now really time for you to build something that's going to have value. If you think of Mercury as this is my perception of things, this is my perspective, this is the way I think, in Taurus, it thinks in a very earthy, tangible, kind of grounded way. And for something to have valuable, I've got to be able to touch it. I've got to be able to feel it. I've got to be able to look at it, show it to other people. It's got to be a thing, right? So if you're in Aries, starting May with Chahashambe Suri, and excuse my pronunciation again if I'm getting that totally wrong, you're jumping through the fire. And now from the 10th onwards, you're building your empire. So this can be a month and a time where you really take charge of your life and your circumstances, and to say, I am not just this lonely little person. I am someone with power. I'm someone with life force. I'm someone with bravery and imagination and direction and muscle. And I can build things and I can make them happen. On the 11th, the moon goes into Scorpio and it joins Black Moon Lilith and Vesta and Juno, and they're also in Scorpio in your 8th house of institutions and authorities. And again, in the traditional astrology chart, the 8th house is the house of death. So the moon in Scorpio allows you to see beyond the surface of things. Black Moon Lilith at 5 degrees in Scorpio there. This may be a day, the 11th, and it also extends into week 3, the 12th, the 13th, where you're able to see your own excuses that you make that prevent you from manifesting your own wonderful circumstances. Oh, so I can't have my own business because I'm shy and I'm not so good with numbers, so I'm not going to do it. Or I'd love to be in a relationship, but I don't feel like I look particularly attractive, so I'm going to stay behind the scenes like, the Phantom of the Opera, and be very dramatic and wear a mask to obscure my hideousness, whatever it is. You can see through your own BS, basically, with that placement. Then Vesta at 9 degrees in Scorpio. This is what I really want. I know what I really want. And Juno, endless summer at 24 degrees in Scorpio. Wouldn't it be nice if I were able to overcome all of these root objections and to stomp them in the ground, make them non-existent, overcome them, and flourish in the way I'm meant to? So here in week 2, on the 5th, the moon started in your 5th house of what you love. And on the 11th, it ends in your 8th. So that's the very right-hand side of your chart. The key thing that's jumping to my attention is the descendant. And the descendant is what I'm looking for. So week 2 is all about figuring out what is it that I'm lacking in my life? Where do I stand in my own way? And how can I get what I want? Basically. Week 3, Monday to Sunday, the 12th to the 18th of May. On the 12th and 13th, we still have the moon in Scorpio, so more self-discovery, more being able to see through what holds you back. On the 14th, and on the 12th of May, we have a full moon in Scorpio. So The full moon is when the moon is fully illuminated, it's completely lit up, and it reaches its completion point during its 28-day cycle. And it showers you with Scorpio energy. So on the 12th, really discover to be able to let one of your own things where you stand in your own way, where you self-sabotage, where you hold yourself back. Really expect one of those things to be exposed, to identify it, to be able to see it for what it is, and to say, no more. I'm not going to sabotage myself in life anymore. I'm going to thrive to the best of my ability, and enough already. On the 14th and 15th, then, the moon goes into Sagittarius and moves into your 9th house of travel, education, and the higher realms. So it's good for those things, literally. It's a great 2-day period to travel. It's a great 2-day period to be interested in new subjects and to start studying them. But also, again, if you want to have a spiritual breakthrough, it's time to try different modalities to see what works for you. For some people, they have a spiritual breakthrough when they listen to music. For others, it's when they meditate. For others, it's when they chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So what's your version of that? But ultimately, it's optimism that life is bigger than my little bubble and I can go explore it. Then on the 16th, 17th, and 18th, the moon goes into Capricorn and it goes into your 10th house of work. So these 3 days are the best for you to be productive and to get a lot of work done. And make sure, if you're clever, that you get the powers that be, the bosses, the business owners, to see the work that you're doing so that they can recognize what a wonderful employee they have, and that this employee may deserve a raise or may be given more responsibility. So week 3, the moon covers several houses. It starts on the 12th in your 8th, and then it ends up on the 18th in your 10th house of work. So that's the very top half of your chart. So really, what do I know? What am I learning? What have I learned? How do I work? Who do I want to work for? Do I want my own business? Do I want to work for other people? And ultimately, do I want to make progress? Week 4, which really isn't a week, it's pretty much the second half of the month. It's Monday to Saturday, the 19th to the 31st of May. And on the 19th and 20th, we have the moon in Aquarius, and that's in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. And it joins Pluto and Pallas that are also in Aquarius in that 11th. So this is a 2-day period where you really understand, these are my hopes and dreams for my life, and in an ideal world, this is what I would like it to look like, and this is what I would like to happen. The sun enters Gemini on the 20th of May as well. And it does that, it moves out of Taurus in your 2nd, and it goes into your 3rd house of communication. So from the 20th onwards, communication is going to become even easier. It's not been hugely problematic for you at all this month anyway, but it gets even better. So anything where you have to present yourself or you have to make a public presentation, it'll go very easily this month. On the 21st and 22nd, the moon goes into your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength, and it joins the North Node and Saturn, which are also in Pisces in that 12th house. So on one hand, these 2 days are days to just simply rest and to decompress a little bit. But Saturn is structure and security and a solid slab. It's a foundation. At 29 degrees in Pisces, 2 and 9 is 11. It's the master number of service. And the North Node, if I'm looking at the North Node in your natal chart, it shows me your life purpose. It shows me what you're trying to accomplish in this lifetime. So these 2 days are days that can show you what you're moving towards on a spiritual level and how you can use all of your gifts and talents to be of service to others. On the 23rd and 24th, the moon then goes back into your sign of Aries, and it joins Neptune in Aries, Venus in Aries, and Chiron in Aries. Neptune was in Pisces for 14 years, and it's gone into Aries on the 30th of March. It's time now to make your hopes and dreams a reality. So this really is, whether you're Persian or not, this is the new year, because it's really about saying, I have certain things that I've considered for a long, long time now. I want to make them happen in earnest, for real, and I want to manifest them in my life so I can benefit from them. And on the 24th, on top of that, we have Saturn also going into Aries. Saturn is what you are certain of, and it goes into your first house. It joins Neptune. So Saturn stays in Aries until September. So from now, May until September, what is that? The next 4 months are really about you building some sort of structure in your life that you're going to then be proud of and that you can benefit from for the foreseeable future. So whether it is a business or you start the relationship you've always wanted. On the 25th and the 26th, the moon goes into Taurus. So it's time to think outside of the box again when it comes to how you create an income for yourself. How do I create security? What could I do differently? Do I do that in connection with employers, or do I do it on my own? And then on the 27th and the 28th, the moon goes back into Gemini. And here on the 27th, we have a new moon in Gemini. And the new moon is when the moon is starting its next 28-day cycle. And it goes pitch black and it pulls in a ton of energy. So rather than being showered with it like during a full moon, it keeps it for itself and it uses it to rev itself up to say, this is what I'm going to use to travel through the sky for the next 28 days. The new moon in Gemini happens in between Jupiter, good luck, growth, good fortune, Mercury, and the transiting midheaven, and they're all in Gemini in your third house of communication. So if you are an Aries who has not realized their hopes and dreams when it comes to career, when it comes to work, this fourth week is going to be a pivotal part of getting to that exact piece of information that says, I am going to build my own jewelry business, or I am going to study a particular subject and then I'm going to become a professor, or this is what how I see the world and how I want it to suit my own needs. So the moon stays in Gemini on the 28th as well. Then it goes back into Cancer on the 29th and 30th. Great for family relationships again. And then finally on the 31st, the moon goes back into Leo, where Mars, your ruler, is still in Leo, in that fifth house. So again, I want sparks flying, I want passion, I want something exciting to happen. But on the 31st of May, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity. That's going to be at its greatest western elongation. And this is the best time to view Venus, since it'll be at its highest point above the horizon in the morning sky. So look for the bright planet in the eastern sky before sunrise and let it inspire you to give life to things and to use May as your month, whether you're male or female, to give birth to your hopes and dreams. So in this final, how many days is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. The last 13 days of May, the moon starts on the 19th in your 11th, and it ends up in your 5th. So that's pretty much, it excludes the 10th house, but then we have houses 11 and 12. It's your first quadrant, and it's houses 4 and 5. So the final 13 days of May are all over the place. A lot of things come together. But at the very center of all of this is that new moon in Gemini that says it's time to stop hoping and dreaming for something wonderful to happen to you. It's time to actually make it happen, to initiate, to be strong, to be courageous, to be all of those things that you respect in others when you see it happening, to be the person who initiates, who leads, who's strong, who doesn't complain all the time and is, my foot hurts and isn't this unfortunate that I can't do this. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of genuine things that prevent you from doing things. I'm making fun of these little excuses we all have that prevent us from pursuing and building our own happiness. This is the month where you can have a breakthrough and you can jump over your own shadow and you can say, regardless of my fears and my uncertainties, I am going to make this happen because I am so supported. I'm lucky. I'm grateful for everything I have already, but now I'm going to make it even better. So that's what I get for you here in May. It looks like your month, Aries. It looks amazing. I hope you have a fabulous time. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, scroll down a little bit until you get to a button that says book your reading. Click on that to order your reading with me, or click on the shop tab, takes you to the same place. And to draw up your birth chart, I need 3 bits of info. I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, I can use sunrise, which is fine, but it's a little bit of an issue in the sense that the ascendant is going to be off, and so are the house placements. So there's a process called chart rectification, which is where you send me 10 or more significant life events, and then I work out your time of birth, and that makes the chart much more accurate. Then I can see everything about you, your strengths, weaknesses, what's kind of destined. To look at what's coming up in future, I look at your progress chart, your transits. If it's around your birthday, I look at your solar return chart as well. And if there's anything around location or moving, I look at the astrocartography, which shows me how different parts of the world are going to influence you and how different parts of the world are going to work for you. Have you ever had that experience where in Frankfurt, for instance, you just have bad luck and things just don't go well? But then you go to Dubai and everything's peachy. That's a real thing based on astrology, and the astrocartography shows me which places you should go to have those wonderful experiences. So I hope that gives you an idea of what's coming up in May. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. That's what helps the videos show up in the algorithm. Subscribe for more videos in future, and please share this video with someone you know, someone you love, someone you care about. Have a wonderful month, and I will speak to you soon. All the best. Take care.